I'm gonna go look at that bucket drop. Different type of wood now.
So that almost looks like it was a vertical timber by the way it came up.
Could the most expensive, most watched treasure hunt in history simply be fake? That's the unnerving question now echoing across the globe, whispered by none other than Craig Tester, a pillar of the Oak Island team. For seasons, his technical genius and calm demeanor lent an air of absolute truth to every excavation, every supposed clue. Now, his sudden distance and powerful new suggestions threaten to undo it all. The most shocking fact is how deeply this changes the narrative, and we are about to dive into why these warnings about Craig Tester were crucial. The cracking foundation of a legend. Craig Tester, a figure whose presence always felt like a beacon of reality amidst the fantastical theories, began to hint at something truly extraordinary. The Oak Island treasure hunt might be, to put it mildly, a well-orchestrated fabrication. This wasn't some minor detail, it was a cannonball aimed directly at the heart of a narrative that has captivated millions of viewers for more than a decade. The thing nobody tells you is just how much this statement from a man like Tester reshapes every single discovery, every exciting moment, every frustrating setback that fans have witnessed. His role, you see, was never just as a participant. He was the technical backbone, often guiding drilling operations down hundreds of feet into the earth, interpreting anomalies from ground-penetrating radar, and assessing the structural integrity of historical shafts like the famous Money Pit.
The money pit's here. They came down next to it, then they tunneled over to it.
Oh, I see, yep.
Maybe we're hitting parts of that tunnel.
His expertise validated every theory, every promising trace of wood or metal pulled from the depths. Without Craig, the technical operations often felt less certain, less real. The revelation wasn't a direct accusation, but a series of calculated steps and hints, a slow unfolding that suggested a man weary of a long-running charade. This is where the warnings about Craig Tester truly begin to resonate. Not warnings against him personally, but warnings from him, subtly communicated through his increasing distance from the project and eventually his public statements. What many overlooked is the sheer weight of experience Tester brought to the table. Before Oak Island, he was a successful entrepreneur in the oil and gas industry, a field demanding rigorous engineering and an unflinching eye for geological realities. This wasn't some starry-eyed amateur. This was a seasoned professional applying his skills to a historical puzzle. When such a figure starts to cast doubt, it's not to be taken lightly. Consider the sheer scale of the operation. Teams have dug down more than 200 feet in various locations, creating boreholes and shafts that could swallow a small house. They've moved thousands of cubic yards of earth and employed advanced techniques like seismic imaging and sonar scans.
Hoping at this point in time, maybe we'll find the shallow supposed treasure from this vault area.
Wow.
The cost of these endeavors is immense, easily reaching into the tens of millions of dollars over the years. Why would seasoned businessmen like the Lagina brothers and an expert like Tester continue to pour vast sums of money and effort into a hunt they secretly knew was fruitless? The most shocking fact is that if Tester's hints are accurate, then the perseverance itself becomes part of the illusion, designed to maintain audience engagement. Every clip of wood, every coin fragment, every anomaly detected by expensive equipment, all might have served a larger purpose: to keep the cameras rolling. The public's fascination isn't just about gold, it's about the very human desire for discovery and the romance of history. The curse of Oak Island, a grim legend stating 7 lives must be lost before the treasure is found, added another layer of dramatic intrigue. 6 people have reportedly perished in the quest over centuries, a chilling detail that amplifies the perceived stakes of the Lagina brothers' modern efforts. But if the entire treasure is a fabrication, then these dramatic elements, while tragic, also serve as powerful narrative devices. Craig Tester's engineering mind, however, always brought a scientific counterpoint to these mystical elements, making the pursuit seem grounded even as the legends soared. And you can see this everywhere, how his calm analysis contrasted with the more speculative theories. His growing skepticism and eventual public pronouncements about the treasure's dubious existence force a reevaluation of his entire on-screen persona. Was he a true believer whose hope slowly eroded, or was he a strategic player in a long game? The answers, as we will uncover, lead down a rabbit hole of implications that are far more profound than just finding gold. The path ahead involves delving deeper into the layers of the Oak Island enigma, and what we might find next could be truly mind-bending. The weight of grief. Craig Tester's journey on Oak Island wasn't just about digging for treasure, it was intertwined with profound personal challenges. This, many believe, is where the narrative around his warnings truly deepens. You see, the thing nobody tells you is that behind the calm demeanor and technical expertise was a man grappling with immense grief. The tragic loss of his son, Drake Tester, deeply impacted Craig and, by extension, the entire Oak Island team. Drake, a vibrant young man, had himself been part of the early treasure hunting efforts, bringing a youthful energy to the demanding work. His sudden passing, related to a personal health challenge, was a devastating blow, adding a heartbreaking human layer to the show that resonated deeply with millions of viewers. For many, this personal tragedy solidified Craig's image as a devoted father first, a treasure hunter second. Viewers sympathized, understanding that his continued presence on the island, even amid such sorrow, spoke volumes about his commitment, perhaps to Drake's memory or to the shared dream. But not all things are what they seem.
If you read the records of them originally finding the money pit, every 10 feet or so, they'd hit a platform.
And this period marked a subtle yet significant shift in Craig's involvement. While he continued to offer his invaluable technical expertise, a certain spark seemed different. His heart, it's fair to speculate, might not have been in the relentless pursuit of gold in the same way. What many overlooked is that grief can profoundly alter one's priorities and perspectives. Could his personal loss have made the grand, elusive treasure hunt feel less significant, perhaps even hollow? The emotional investment required to continually push forward, facing disappointment after disappointment, might have become too heavy a burden. This is where the warnings might stem from a place of personal exhaustion and a reevaluation of what truly matters. It's possible that the endless cycle of hope and dashed expectations, so central to the Oak Island narrative, became unbearable for Craig. Consider his decision to sell his multi-million-dollar home in Traverse City, Michigan, and eventually move away from the direct day-to-day operations on Oak Island. This wasn't merely a logistical choice, it signaled a profound desire to distance himself from that chapter of his life. This residential property, valued at nearly $4 million, represented a significant commitment and a life built around the nearby treasure hunt. To shed such ties speaks to a deeper need for change. The most shocking fact is that this personal transition coincided with his growing skepticism regarding the ultimate prize. The question now becomes, did this personal toll, this profound shift in his outlook, pave the way for his eventual hints that the entire treasure was an illusion? It is a fascinating twist that suggests the warnings were not born of malice, but perhaps from a deep personal truth. As we move forward, we'll analyze how Craig's unique technical contributions now appear under this new, revealing light. The tools of intrigue. Craig Tester was the undisputed technical wizard of the Oak Island team. His skills as an engineer and his experience in the challenging oil and gas industry were frequently highlighted, providing a grounding force for the more speculative theories. He was the one who could explain the intricacies of deep drilling, the anomalies on sonar scans, and the potential for dangerous gas leaks hundreds of feet down. Many people are crazy about his ability to bring scientific rigor to a quest steeped in legend. But now, with his unsettling hints about the treasure being fake, every single technical triumph and close call on Oak Island takes on a new, unnerving light.
They thought the vault was sitting on a platform. And this, 3-inch diameter piece of wood, to me, could definitely have been one of those pieces of wood from the platform.
You see, the thing nobody tells you is how easily scientific data can be interpreted or even framed to fit a compelling narrative. Was Craig genuinely using his expertise to uncover clues, or was he, perhaps unknowingly or unwillingly, part of a larger production that required constant drama and a semblance of progress? Consider the numerous artifacts recovered. Supposed ancient coins, fragments of wood, old leather bookbinding materials. Craig was often among the first to examine these, his serious demeanor lending immense weight to their potential significance. The discovery of bookbinding material, for instance, led to the tantalizing Shakespeare theory in Season 5, captivating viewers with the idea of lost literary masterpieces buried deep in the money pit. What many overlooked is the crucial role his reactions played in building the show's intrigue. When a significant anomaly appeared on a scan, it was Craig's cautious optimism that fueled viewer hope. When a dangerous gas pocket was detected, it was his stern warnings that highlighted the real perils of the dig. Were these dangers exaggerated, the artifacts strategically placed, or the anomalies selectively interpreted to keep the treasure hunt alive on screen? The most shocking fact is that if the treasure itself was never truly the goal, then Craig's technical brilliance, the very thing that made the search believable, could have inadvertently served a different master: entertainment. His specialized equipment, capable of drilling to depths of over 200 feet and collecting core samples, produced genuine geological data. But how that data was presented, how certain findings were emphasized over others, is key. And you can see this everywhere in documentary-style shows where dramatic tension is paramount. For example, the famous 90-foot stone, discovered in the early days of the hunt, supposedly contained cryptic symbols pointing to the treasure's location. Craig's engineering approach would focus on the practicalities of its recovery and the geological context, but the show's narrative would amplify its mystical implications. The dilemma for Craig Tester, if his fake hints are accurate, is profound. Was he a master of deception or a dedicated professional whose work was appropriated for a narrative beyond his control? His silence from the Lagina brothers only adds fuel to this fire. This lingering question casts a long shadow over the entire Oak Island operation, affecting everyone involved, as we will explore next. Credibility in crisis. Craig Tester's unsettling pronouncements about the Oak Island treasure being a possible illusion didn't just rattle fans, they sent shockwaves directly to the heart of the operation, particularly impacting the Lagina brothers, Rick and Marty. For years, they have been the undisputed faces of the curse of Oak Island, their passion and unwavering belief driving the quest forward. Many people are crazy about their dedication, seeing them as genuine seekers of a historical truth. But now, with a key figure like Tester casting doubt, their very motivations come under intense scrutiny. You see, the thing nobody tells you is that when a long-standing narrative is challenged by an insider, the integrity of everyone involved is questioned. Have Rick and Marty, who have poured millions of dollars and decades of their lives into this endeavor, known all along that the treasure was a fabrication? Or were they too caught in an elaborate production, perhaps even believing a version of the story that was less than real? Their response, or rather their continued silence regarding Craig's hints, only adds layers to the mystery. Not all things are what they seem, and their quiet approach leaves much to speculation, suggesting they are either protecting a grand secret or are themselves at a loss for words. What many overlooked is that the treasure on Oak Island might not be gold or jewels, but the show itself. The Curse of Oak Island has been a monumental success, drawing in millions of viewers weekly across multiple seasons. This popularity translates into substantial advertising revenue and profit for the network and the production company. The most shocking fact is that if the treasure hunt was always a well-crafted TV drama, then the real treasure was never buried beneath the soil of Nova Scotia. It was found in the ratings and the commercial success of the program. Consider the vast supporting cast: Dan and Dave Blankenship, Charles Barkhouse, and a host of other experts and enthusiasts who have dedicated significant portions of their lives to the island. What did they know? Were they all unwitting participants in a carefully choreographed spectacle, or were some privy to the larger design? Craig Tester's engineering role, which often involves safeguarding the team from supposed dangers like subterranean collapses or toxic gases, adds another layer of complexity. If the treasure was fake, were these dangers amplified for dramatic effect, making every dig feel like a life or death situation? And you can see this everywhere in entertainment, how stakes are raised to keep an audience gripped. The credibility of the entire series now hangs in the balance. Every artifact, every historical theory, every glimmer of hope feels tainted by the possibility of intentional deception. Craig Tester's hints force viewers to re-examine years of footage, searching for subtle clues that might have foreshadowed this dramatic revelation. Was it the unwavering optimism despite countless disappointments, or perhaps the uncanny timing of certain discoveries that should have raised eyebrows? So, was Craig Tester's revelation the ultimate truth, or just another twist in Oak Island's endless tale? Share your thoughts below. Like this video and subscribe for more mind-bending mysteries.